Hey guys, Sophie here from GOTB. As promised, we've got a special episode of Extra Time with Girls on the Ball for you to enjoy. Ahead of Chelsea's clash with Manchester United at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, we were lucky enough to chat to a few players to hear some more about their season and time at the club. This young player has been making waves this season and will no doubt play an even bigger part in the squad in the absence of Sam Kerr. It's young lioness Aggie Beever Jones. So hi Aggie, thanks for joining us today. It's great to have you on. I was just going to ask how you sum up this season so far with Chelsea and how that's going, because I think the league is developing as a whole, so it's trying to stay ahead of the rest, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the league this year has been by far the most competitive it's ever been. Obviously last year I was able to experience it with Everton. Coming back to Chelsea now, you can see it's so competitive, and every game you can't underestimate. There's teams they're strengthening and they're getting better and they're putting up big fights. But as Chelsea, we're competitors and we want to win everything, and we just have to play the best football, and we will do that.
I know you're known as a squad as like mentality monsters. I think that was Karen Carney who labelled you that. But I guess that is the way that you have to look at the challenges ahead of you, and how under Emma, how can you describe how that kind of progresses as a team throughout a season and how that develops that kind of mentality of winning?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, we've always had that, like you said, we've always had that winning mentality, and it's going into every game knowing it can go one of two ways, and we have to control what we can control and focus on what our goals are for that game. And I think with the league being so competitive, we have to realise that each team's going to pose a different threat, and we have to go to our basics and look at them. And I think as the season continues, you'll see that we're a team of a season. We're not team over a few games. We work hard every single game, and games can go, like I said, one of two ways. But if you keep progressing and realising what we need to work on, we'll be able to get as many points as we can.
For you, this is kind of your breakout season at Chelsea as well. I know you've been on loan a couple of seasons. What did you learn most at Everton last year? What did that provide you? Because I think you did progress your game a lot during that time.
Yeah, I think the first thing that springs to mind is definitely just learning the league and being able to make mistakes and realising what works and what doesn't work. And I think Brian offered me that, and he's obviously very knowledgeable of football, and he was able to have a good relationship with Chelsea and coincide in what I needed to work on and what Chelsea wanted, and equally what Everton wanted, and that united really, really well. And I think he gave me the opportunity to showcase what I can do, and I think that's the main thing I learnt, just understanding the league and how hard it can be, and with that how good it can be at the same time. And I got my first WSL goal there, and that was obviously a really nice moment to have, and I think that's definitely prepared me for this season, like you said, and I think I've hit the ground running. But for me the main thing is just keeping that consistent and being able to showcase what I can do.
And before that, you had the chance at Bristol City as well. And I remember Lauren Smith, just before the game, just before Christmas, she was speaking very highly of you and how she was one of your biggest supporters.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because it was a championship, but I guess it was giving you a perfect way to develop as a young player coming through.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Emma said it, and I couldn't say any better than her. I definitely left Chelsea after signing as an academy player, and I think Lauren, I still message her now, we have a very good relationship, and she's helped me out massively as an 18-year-old living away from home, off the pitch, not knowing much about all those bills and council taxes, you name it. Yeah, not knowing a lot about it, and they helped out massively, and they made me feel like I was home there and looked after me like I was one of theirs. And I always make sure to show massive thanks to everyone at Bristol, because ultimately I wouldn't be where I am today without both of those loan spells. So no, I speak very highly of her, and yeah, it was nice to see her the other day and have a bit of a catch up, and for her to say such lovely things was just, yeah, made me very happy.
And I guess that's really important, because you think so much about the football, I guess, from the outside, but actually it's the whole, adapting to life as a professional player, moving home, moving to different places around the country, and it's a whole process that's involved in it that you need to become comfortable with. And I guess when you're now with Chelsea, you travel a lot, especially with the Champions League, so it's learning that kind of different way of life and how to adjust and be comfortable with it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've said it already, but I think effectively Chelsea has been preparing me for this, and like you said, the loan spells, they've helped out massively, moving away from home. And I think I credit a lot of it to my mum and dad as well. They were always there for me when I needed them, and always managed to drive up to see me if I needed them, and that was really, really nice. And I think being back home now is nice to get meals cooked for me, so I'm definitely enjoying that. But yeah, like you said, we have a lot of travelling in the Champions League, and nights getting back at Cobham at 4 a.m, but it's just part of being champions, really, and the philosophy that Chelsea is, and we want that. We want to get back at 4 a.m. after Champions League winning, and that's us, really.
I was going to ask about the Champions League campaign, because you're back here against Real Madrid next week, I think.
Yeah.
Got 2 games, it's in your hands now, so how important is that to have managed to get to that, just before Christmas, get to the top of the table, because Hacken weren't going away very easily, so important now to be in control.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's where we want to be. We want to be top of the table, and like you said, it will be a big game, and although Madrid are out, they're still going to put a massive fight, and we know that as Chelsea, and we don't ever underestimate any teams. And that game in Hacken was a tough game, and they fought, and so did we, and we were able to get the win, which was really, really important. But yeah, Champions League for me is a competition I've always wanted to play in, and I was delighted to make my debut before Christmas, and just want to help the team as much as I can, really.
And I know as footballers you go game by game, but we do know this is Emma Hayes' last season at the club, and how much does it motivate you, I guess, as players as well, to know that it's the one trophy she hasn't quite got in her time at Chelsea, so to make it extra special for her?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all of our common goal to win the Champions League, and like you said, it's our last season, and we'd love to be able to do it, but there's a lot of hard work before we get there, and we all know that. And I think obviously it's unfortunate with the injuries, but it just makes it even harder. But we're still up for the fight, and we're Chelsea, we're never going to back down no matter what, and it allows other people to step up and make big moments happen, and I think we have the team and the squad depth to do that this year.
And finally, just back to Manchester United here at the weekend. You have a pretty good record, I think, as a club against Manchester United. What do you think has been the key to it, and what are you expecting for them on Sunday?
Ooh. I mean, they're going to come out fighting, obviously. We had the game yesterday, at 90 minutes ended 1-1, and we know that wasn't good enough, and we put the game to bed after the extra time, but they're going to be looking at that, looking at where to exploit us, but so are we. We're looking at where to exploit them, and like you said, we have a good track record against them, and we're at home at Stamford Bridge, and we're not going to go down easy at all, and we'll come out ready to hit the ground running, and we'll take those 3 points.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well, we hope you enjoyed that extra episode. Tune in next week as we delve into what will no doubt be an exciting weekend of fixtures.